Off it, everybody. I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani.
And good afternoon on a very, very warm day all over the island, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. Thanks for tuning in.
Here's what's in our data drop for today.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
Hannah joins us live with a report on the death investigation involving a 1-year-old girl.
Also effective today, the cost of your power bill is going up.
And Tyler joins us live from the island's capital as the Guam War Claims Processing Center is officially open.
Well, of course, we told you last night during our primetime broadcast, breaking news when we first went to it, that there was tragic news about an investigation launched by GPD into a death of a 1-year-old.
We head live to Dededo where our Hannah Devonzo is standing by. Hannah.
Bree and Jason, we can't even begin to imagine the amount of grief a family is facing right now as their 1-year-old girl is dead. We're still waiting to hear more information from the Guam Police Department on what really happened, but what we do know is that officers from the Dededo precinct responded to a report of an injured person along Bartulo Road in Dededo. The injured person turned out to be a 1-year-old girl. And yesterday when I spoke to the Chief of Police, Stephen Ignacio, he said the child was transported to GRMC and was later pronounced dead. Today we also reached out to the PIO to get more information and have yet to hear back. Detectives from the Criminal Investigation Division assume the investigation, but there's been no word if any arrests have been made. And again, this still is a developing story, and as soon as we get more information, we'll update you. Reporting live from Dededo, I'm Hannah Devonzo.
Thanks, Hannah, for that report. And again, we'll have more on this story on Primetime.
Also this afternoon, a pretrial conference was held for Richard Bass this morning before presiding Judge Alberto Lamarena. Bass has been charged for the murder of 39-year-old Virginia Laguatnia. Last June, he allegedly repeatedly stabbed the woman to death in front of her children and injured a 19-year-old woman. The murder occurred at the Hotel Mayana over in Tamuning. Previously, Bass pled not guilty by reason of mental illness, yet he was found competent to stand trial. In court today, the judge ordered that both sides file any pretrial motions before September 2nd, with jury selection scheduled for the 3rd of October.
Also from Superior Court, Joey Terlahi appeared before Judge Alberto Tolentino in Superior Court for a motion hearing. He's a former Department of Corrections Deputy Director and the son of Senator Pito Terlahi, as well as a former Superior Court Marshal. During the hearing, a motion to compel discovery and a motion for a bill of particulars was presented by the defense. Judge Tolentino stated he'd take the motion for a bill of particulars under advisement. Terlahi was named by an FBI agent in federal court in connection to the indictment of former Jotnia Mayor Jesse Blas. Blas was accused of extortion and taking bribes from a confidential informant posing as a drug trafficker. Terlahi was present when Blas allegedly beat a woman up and held her for 3 days. Terlahi is accused of exposing the victim to risk of bodily injury at a barbecue in 2017 and for misusing his position as a government official in relation to the crime committed.
Utilities headlines now is effective today. The average monthly residential power bill for you and I is going to go up another 10%. Last night, the Public Utilities Commission did approve the increase to the fuel surcharge known as the Levelized Energy Adjustment Clause, or LEAC. They cited soaring fuel prices and the growing fuel cost under recovery by GPA. Here's PUC Administrative Law Judge Fred HORECKY with the details.
The under recovery was set to go from about 17.5 million up to, I believe it was 32 million, an increase of 14.5 million. So those are the kinds of circumstances where the PUC will come in and say we need to have a midterm adjustment of the LEAC factor. And the most compelling reason for that, just look at fuel prices between February 1st and March 22nd. The fuel that GPA purchases, high sulfur fuel oil, went up 30%.
Okay, so what does this mean in the final wash for you and me as ratepayers? The average consumer using 1,000 kilowatts a day will pay about $307 instead of $278. That's an increase of $29 a month more.
In Decision 2022 News, former Speaker Judy Wampat confirms to KUAM that she is running for Congress. An election packet was recently picked up in her name, listing her as a candidate for delegate. In response to our inquiry, she messaged that she would not be holding a press conference to make a formal announcement, but would be issuing a press release. Wampat is an educator and served 5 terms as Democrat senator. She's also the daughter of Guam's first congressional delegate, the late Antonio B. Wampat.
Meanwhile, Congressman Michael Sinicolas has said that he is seriously considering a run for Guam's governor, so it's not clear if he will seek re-election as our Washington delegate. Now, what is evident is that a House ethics investigation continues to be in motion, and recently leaked documents of a January 2020 confidential report submitted by the Office of Congressional Ethics provide in detail why they believe the House Ethics Committee should move forward with the investigation. Here's more with Chris Barnett.
As recent as last month, Congressman Michael Sinicolas' former campaign chair, John Paul Manuel, was interviewed in Washington, D.C. by the House Ethics Committee. After all, he was the one who made the initial allegations against his former boss back in 2018 about having an affair with his district director and using campaign funds for personal use. Within the past week, confidential documents leaked to island media regarding a report completed by the Office of Congressional Ethics 2 years ago. That report detailing the investigation the committee conducted. Now, according to the documents, OCE investigators found, quote, substantial evidence the congressman formulated a scheme to get an illegal $10,000 donation for his congressional campaign in 2018. The report also reads, our congressman, quote, undertook efforts to conceal the contribution from the Federal Election Commission and the public. According to the report, if Sinicolas did in fact engage in a scheme to accept the donation and cover it up, he violated federal laws and FEC regulations in doing so. The documents detail a meeting at Sidelines Bar where the congressman, the campaign donor, and Manuel were discussing campaign finances. The congressman allegedly saying he was having a hard time raising money. The campaign donor agreeing to donate $10,000. Sinicolas then allegedly saying the $10,000 would have to be in cash, which would make it easier for the money to be washed out in low-dollar fundraisers. After the OCE review began, investigators learned that Sinicolas' new campaign manager and district director, Jennifer Wynn, sent a September 2019 letter to the campaign donor claiming the campaign had only found out about the donation when the Guam Election Commission notified them about a complaint filed by Manuel about the donation. However, the OCE also received a copy of a January 2020 letter from the campaign donor saying he, quote, was informed by the Sinicolas campaign that the contribution would be entirely lawful, but that the donor now understands that may not be true. FEC records and KUAM files show Sinicolas' campaign returned a $9,000 donation to local businessman Andy Park in February of 2020. We should add that the OCE report noted that the congressman as well as the district director refused to cooperate with their review. As we reported, this report, the basis for the House Ethics Committee to move forward with an investigation into our delegate. Chris Barnett, KUAM News.
Over in the NMI, local leaders are on a united front in their message to the military saying Pagan is out of the picture and no high-caliber live fire will happen on Tinian. It comes after 27,000 comments were submitted in 2015 as part of the National Environmental Policy Act process for the Department of Defense's Commonwealth Joint Military Training Proposal. DoD submitted its amended proposal to the CNMI Governor's Office this week, eliminating the following amendments. Number 1, any training activities on the island of Pagan, construction of landing ramps in Chulu Beach, a high hazard impact area for the use of artillery and aviation delivered munitions, an extensive range footprint, the elimination of extensive fencing and special use airspace. In a media release, Northern Islands Mayor Vicente Santos says he is content with leadership being able to take Pagan off the table.
Well, everybody, on yesterday's episode of HotSpot right here on KUAM, we of course told you that the Guam War Claims Processing Center would be opening, and today is the day.
And joining us live from the island's capital is our Tyler Matsanani. Tyler.
Half a day, Bree and Jace. As you said, today is the official opening of the War Claims Processing Center here at the Guam Museum. It's a huge step in the right direction for survivors and descendants to get their claims from World War II. $10 million have been appropriated for this from the general fund for this. Applications can be picked up here at the Guam Museum Monday through Friday from 9 to 3 p.m. They even have a drive-through area outside to make the entire process as easy as possible. They also can be picked up at your village mayor's office or the Department of Administration's website. Now, when you come and do the whole application, all you need is the ID of the claimant or the deceased. You also need the birth or death certificate. Now, the committee is prepared to help those cases where documents might be lacking. Now, you noted that you cannot file again under this if you've already filed under the Guam World War II Loyalty Recognition Act. For more information, go online to doa.guam.gov. You can also call 671-989-9227 or 9278. No, also, the application process does end on March 30th of next year. For KUAM News, I'm Tyler Matsunani. Back to you in studio.
All right, well, very well done, Ty, with that report. Now, remember, of course, Bree, we were talking to DOA yesterday, and they were saying that they expect several hundred claimants or their descendants, 700, in fact, to be filing claims.
Right, and you can watch that interview with Bernie Guinness as well as Benefits Manager over the Department of Administration, Leo Candaso, over on our YouTube channel.
All right, well, please stay tuned, everybody. We are going to talk to the new director of the Department of Corrections. Our friend Bob Camacho is coming up on the HotSpot right after this.
Make the celebration of kindness and generosity a part of your life all year round. Watch Giving Every Tuesday on KUAM News Primetime on the stations and platforms of KUAM Communications. Each week we'll showcase a different charity, organization, club, or group doing their part to make our island a better place. Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by J. Goodman, a happiness company.
Living a healthy lifestyle is important to prevent chronic diseases and long-term illnesses and to boost your mental health. It's difficult to determine exactly which healthy habits are worth investing in to live longer and healthier lives. Tune in for helpful advice about healthy lifestyle choices from the medical experts at FHP Clinic. Catch FHP HAFA Health Tips on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month on the link at 7:30 a.m. on Breeze 93.9 FM and streaming on our digital platforms. Presented to you by Take Care.
Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications.
Uno Mixed is presented to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Pepsi. That's what I like.
No waiting in line to see your doctor or to pick up your medication. From tips to living a healthier lifestyle, nutrition and fitness, to the latest wellness trends. Stay healthy by checking in for your weekly dose of health news on Health Check every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra. Health Check is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Got a question about your finances? You've come to the right place. Bring all your accounts together, even those that aren't with us, and see the big picture, right down to the smallest detail. Unlock powerful tools like Insights and Money Map that help you save time and take control of your finances. When you connect accounts with the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
Let us know what's up on our KUAM News WhatsApp tip line at 671-727-0094. Share information about what's happening in your town, on Guam or the CNMI, and what you want us to know. Reach us on WhatsApp at 671-727-0094.
Welcome back, everybody. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and KUAM TV. We're coming to you live on this Friday afternoon. You're watching the Hotspot and Bree, traditionally the hot seat in the government of Guam, one of them, I should say. has always been the director of the Department of Corrections, given the scale and scope and responsibility of that role. And we are going now to the KUAM News Zoom room, where the new director of that agency, a friend of ours, Robert Camacho, is joining us. Bob, Hafaday, so good to see you.
Hafaday, how are you doing?
We're doing great.
Very, very well.
Congratulations, I think, for being appointed as the director.
Indeed.
Well, we really want to just bring you on, just to get an update on the new prison. We haven't heard about it in a while.
Yeah. Well, we're still working on those details. Right now, we're working with Guam Economic Development Agency. They're looking at the funding source. And of course, the legislature has authorized $5 million per year to help get it started. We already had DPW engineers come over here and looked at the grounds and do an assessment. So we're waiting for that report to come through, maybe in a few days.
Until we get to that point where we'll have a new correctional facility, you're of course charged with running the current facility. So you are a veteran, experienced GovGuam manager. So coming into this role, what was your first day like? And walking onto the facility, which you're well aware of and everything like that. How do you approach leading the agency?
Well, actually, for the past 2 years, I've been the deputy director. So I've been with the previous director, Joe Carvalho. I was working with him in the background there, trying to get all the administrative and operational issues resolved. So it's really not something that's new to me. Of course, this is like my 24th year at Department of Corrections and 37 years in law enforcement. So the whole thing is just keep, every day there's an issue regarding, trying to handle things from legal issues, personnel issues, food services to, programs and treatment and all that. And so right now our focus, of course, is to build that prison, and the governor's been very supportive, and we've been having several meetings regarding it. So of course, the funding source is what we're trying to resolve. As far as what we're doing here right now, as my role is trying to get things back to normal as much as possible. We haven't had any visitation for the past couple of years, so our goal is in the next couple of weeks is to have visitation, family visitation, maybe two, depending on what the current situation is with of course, the COVID. If it rises even more in the next couple of weeks, we might have to postpone it again. So, but that's what we're intending, and maybe the family will have like 45 minutes of time with their loved one here at POC. The other thing is religious services. So we're going to have it twice a month. And I just don't want to have too much people coming in here and not knowing the full extent of the COVID situation is. So we're going to do it and move cautiously and just trying to get things back to normal as far as programs and activities. We're working right now with the commissary, trying to get that thing off the ground, where we're going to be using, providing supplies and sundry items to the inmates through a virtual program. And so that's at GSA right now. We've completed the bid specs and everything, so it just needs to be announced. So I'm hoping GSA helps us push that through. We're also working on the Adult Correctional Management Information System, which is a software system that helps to manage all of our information with inmates and supplies and equipment and all that. And so that again also is we're working on. We've already have a bid out. We're just waiting for people to turn in their proposals. So that's going to be extremely helpful, and it's going to be networked with all the other law enforcement agencies like GPD and so and the courts, so that it's going to eliminate some of the redundancy within our legal documentation. We already have a virtual system right now with the Public Defender's Office, where inmates now can go on a virtual, like a Zoom technology, so that they can see their attorneys. And so we already have that set up for they can do 4 at a time, I believe. And so that's, helps the court out, helps the client out with their attorneys and get the appropriate representation. We just completed our post-5 renovation. We cleaned it all up, got fixed up everything. So that has been a very difficult task, but we managed to get it done. So we're working at all the other facilities.
And needless to say, Bob, like your to-do list is probably like very, very substantial at this point.
What about in terms of
course, and how
recruitment
move along with the bid process? But we intend to just improve the current living conditions of the inmates, so to avoid any kind of consent decree also at the same time. So a lot of things are happening. We have 14 recruits right now going through the training program, and it should be completed by June of this year. They're already working at going through the courses at GCC. We're working on a lead program, which is a leadership program for all of our senior officers. We had a hard time starting it off because of the pandemic, but we're going to continue with that. And what the LEAD program is a leadership development program, a leadership enhancement and development program for all of our senior officers, starting from the sergeants on up, and just to help them understand how to lead their team, their division, in those aspects.
Yeah, well, Bob, certainly this is just merely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to everything that you guys are working on at DOC. But unfortunately, we got to let you go. But we'd love to catch up with you again and find out, the projects that you've not only begun, but what the progress is with them.
Start off with a new look, a new image of Department of Corrections. Previously we always had a problem with our image. Many years ago, we used to be called DOC at one point, then went to Depth Corps, and then we went back to DOC. We wanted to kind of revitalize that image again, and have a professional look. We're changing our uniforms, and just an overall change of our, as I call it, transformation of our department. So we're establishing our vision, our mission statement, and our core values. So these are all, part of our overall plan is just to have a modernization of our whole entire department, not just with the prison, but with our training, our professional standards, our operations, our treatment programs. So it's quite comprehensive. So we're looking at all these different aspects.
Well, thank you so much, Bob.
Yesterday, we talked about having a fitness program, which is called MOVE. It's Mobility, Observe, Validate, and Educate. And essentially, it's a physical fitness program for all of our employees, not just the officers. So we're going to we're already looking at developing an obstacle course here around the open fields. So just for the employees, so they can exercise and stay healthy. And it's also going to encompass nutrition, not just physical fitness. So lots of things on my plate right now, but we're pushing through.
Well, thank you so much, Bob, for giving us an update on all the wonderful things you're doing over at the Department of Corrections. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, well done, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, Bob Camacho again, the Deputy Director at the Department of Corrections. Obviously a laundry list of responsibilities not only awaits him, but already on his plate.
We got to send you over there to do the obstacle course that he was talking about and the fitness getting moving program over at DOC. Stay tuned. We're back after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Pacific Matters is a half-hour news, culture, and lifestyle show focused on issues that impact Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, and the larger Pacific region. Join Tomas Maglonia every Monday to discuss politics, trends, and take a deep dive into the issues changing our island home, because what happens in the Pacific matters.
Check out KUAM Sports for Buckets of the Week every Friday on KUAM News, Primetime, and KUAM Digital, a weekly roundup of some of the greatest shots from hoopsters around Guam, featuring the best shots from buzzer beaters to jaw droppers, from ballers of all ages and leagues. We're serving up buckets on buckets. Buckets of the Week brought to you by KFC. So good, so Guam.
Okay, it is week 3 of the hard drive where our news team hits the gym and pumps some iron.
Right, we just ended our workouts over at Steel Athletics, and I tell you, they were amazing and they were tough.
No. I'm just gonna lay here, okay?
So what's been the hardest part about hard drive? Everything. Burpees suck, and I'm pretty sure that's indisputable. But throwing a barbell with weight above my head, that's kind of been the hardest thing for me. I'm a little bit unsure with my footing, especially when we have to go into a kind of like a deep squat. So holding weight and then going into a squat, it's pretty scary. I'm always scared I'm gonna fall. The weight's gonna fall on me, and I can't do my squat correctly. I think it's called a power snatch. I still don't really know a lot of the verbiage yet, but I do want to know. This is the first time I've ever really had to do any real resistance training, and even if I say I don't like it, I kind of like it. The other hard thing about hard drive has been trying to convince my colleagues that it is worth dragging yourself to the gym at 5:15 in the morning. On Monday, I found myself alone. No one showed up from my group, and I fought trying to walk out because I just didn't want to be there by myself. I'm scared. I'm intimidated. All these people are like svelte, and look at me. But I stayed and I put in what I could. I know, I'm not the best at this yet. I just want everybody to show up, come through. Let's do this for ourselves, hang out, whatever.
For me, the most difficult part of this entire process so far is just being consistent, showing up every single day. There were a few times, as I mentioned in our last segment, it was difficult to be present because of the juggling act that I have to do with my son. But I have to give it up. Lacey, I felt bad that she was alone that one day, but she's been extremely consistent. And also Tomas, he goes back and forth from Saipan to Guam, and even though he hasn't been present at Steel these past couple of days, he actually has been consistent in making sure that he keeps up with his workouts.
Good morning. It's day 2 of running and exercising here on Saipan along Beach Road. Decided to do some running and some other exercises.
I gotta be honest, my attendance for the first month of hard drive was a bit off. Probably because my body still isn't used to the extensive exercise that's being offered, but I feel like if I keep going on a daily basis, my body will eventually get used to it and it'll start to acclimate the exercises that's being offered.
So this was our last week at Steel Athletics, and I gotta say these guys were tough, but they're actually extremely patient and just an amazing group of people. Not just the coaches, but the people that we were working out with. They were very encouraging and supportive of us, knowing that we had no clue what we were doing. So I really thank them, and of course the trainers over at Steel Athletics. You guys are awesome.
I really enjoyed our time over at Steel Athletics. I think Coach Joe did an amazing job with getting us back on track with our health, and he was really encouraging because I know that there were many times, in fact, every single workout, we had no idea what the hell he was talking about. We had no idea what language, what workouts, even the counting system he was using. We were so confused, but every single time he would take extra time to kind of catch us up to speed and break down the basics for us. So I think in the end, he really helped ignite this beast in us that we kind of either didn't know we had or has been in the slumber for a long time. So any beginners out there that are intimidated of going back to the gym, I highly encourage you to check out Steel Athletics. And Coach Joe, thank you so much for getting us back out there and getting our butts back in shape.
I really can't believe that our time at Steel has come to an end. I bowed out a little earlier because I had to come to Saipan for work, but I've been trying to get up early just the same time with the team and put in my fair share of the workout. But I believe one of the hardest parts, and this is something that Joe told us from the very beginning, is just walking through those doors to the gym, getting up and getting there. But when you get there, you have people, whether it's fellow teammates at KUAM or people at the gym who we don't even know, but continue to help us throughout our workouts, making sure we don't hurt ourselves. That it really does take a team, and that's Team KUAM, to come together and do something like this. Hopefully moving forward, it's easier to do it on our own. I know that after coming to Saipan for work and having to get up on my own and do workouts outside, not at a gym, that was definitely more difficult than it was when I was on Guam, waking up knowing that I'm going to go to a gym and have someone there to guide me along. So I think although all of those challenges is something that we face, getting up and getting there, I think that it just shows that it's possible. So moving ahead, continuing to make that possibility a reality.
Coming from a background with very little knowledge about fitness and coming from sitting 90% of the day, I was in shock. I know I can barely do 50% of the workout. My current physical state and my current health holds me back, but I tried. And I don't think I would have been able to get through this without my colleagues, and most especially our trainer, Joe, who was very patient with us. So thank you, Joe, for being so encouraging, and I hope to see you soon. My takeaway is that being this unfit has been a choice for me. So when Sabrina offered me the opportunity, I jumped on it. And, you know, I hear it's just going to get harder as we go on, and bring it on.
Wow.
I am tweeting Lacey right now. Go, Lacey, go.
Yeah, go.
Hashtag beast mode.
We actually started our first day over at Custom Fitness, and yeah.
All you guys are amazing.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, we got your 6. Tune in to Primetime tonight.
Remember, guys, don't eat meat today.